So today we're going to talk about reps, rep range, the amounts of sets. People request sometimes, on what they want me to talk about. So today this has been requested to talk about this because this is quite important. I think what I see a lot of people doing is, certainly with reps, they say, oh, I'm going to start dieting, so I'm going to go high reps. And when I'm trying to bulk up, I go heavy. I don't really believe in that. I like to stay as strong while I'm dieting as what I was on the off season. I don't really change anything, because I think that if you start restricting and lowering your food, and then you start doing reps and you don't put so much weight on, personally, to hold muscle and to build muscle, I think you should keep it nice and heavy, good compound solid weights, even when you're dieting. I feel this time I've been able to build muscle while dieting, and I'm as strong now as what I was at the beginning of the diet. So that's really indicating that I haven't lost any muscle mass. So I think definitely rep range. Well, I change it about. I sometimes think there's two ways of doing this. Sometimes you can listen to your body, and if you're feeling strong, then by all means go heavy, definitely, because but I think if you get the days when you just think, it's not happening, I don't feel so strong, then it's okay to do reps. I think what a lot of people do is, when they want to try and get strong, is they test themselves every time they go in the gym. And I knew a guy that used to come in the gym, and he'd come in and he'd do his 1 rep max all the time. He'd do about 3 sets and then go home. He couldn't understand why he wasn't getting stronger, because he just wasn't doing any training. There was us. We weren't doing that. We were just bodybuilding, and we were way stronger than him, because you're naturally going to get stronger anyway. Some people are just not doing enough training. They're just trying to get their bench up, so they'll do their warm up and then do their maximum bench, and they'll try and do that a couple of times, and then they leave the gym, and then they try again next week. It's just not enough. So you need to sort of stimulate, build muscle, and then you're going to get stronger anyway. Also, time between sets is important as well, whether to go faster or slower. I think some people would do a set, and then they're going to spend 5 minutes on their phone, and then they'll go in again. Obviously that's no good either. So the speed between sets is important, but it depends what you're trying to achieve. If you're bodybuilding, then obviously I would say a 10 rep range is normally about normal. Anything sort of from 8 to 12, so I think time between sets, enough time if you're training with someone to do your set, and then your partner does his set, and then you pretty much get on with it and go straight in. So if you train on your own, you can sort of imagine that someone else is going to be doing their set, and then you can go in. Enough just to get your breath back, ready to go again. People spend way too long between sets. Obviously if you want to be stronger, you have a bit more rest, but if you're bodybuilding, you don't need so much rest. At the same time, you don't want to be bang 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 bang, because you're going to fatigue very quickly, and after 5 minutes you're going to be done. Something I like to do is fatigue the muscle. Sometimes pre-exhausting, it's very, very good. Do a high reps in the warm-up on the first set, and then go heavy after that. Now, a lot of people don't like doing that because they're not as strong, because obviously the muscle's more fatigued, but for bodybuilding it can work very, very well. So it depends. Are you going for strength? Are you going because you want to get big? So, and all of it sort of does work to a degree. I think if you do the same thing all the time, obviously the body gets very used to it. So sometimes, I tend to do slightly more reps, and then sometimes, I go for a phase when I just go heavier. I think with my legs, I like to do a workout of which I do reps, and then I do a workout of which I try and go heavy. And I think that way it gets attacked from both ends, and then of course, the legs seem to be responding, for me anyway. I think it's very easy to get complacent. If you're doing reps all the time, you don't really put enough weight on, the body doesn't really get stimulated enough for growth. And if you're going heavy all the time, trying to push it too much and doing too lower reps, you can get injured, and it's very, very hard on the body. So like I said, when you look at some rotate, some have a week where they go sort of like reps, and some then they'll go sort of like medium, and then they'll go heavy, and then they'll keep rotating like that. So you can try that. Also, different body parts seem to respond from different rep ranges. I feel like with my arms, I was just going heavy, and I was doing 10 reps, and then have a little break, and then do another 10 reps. They didn't seem to be sort of responding. So I sometimes think with them, slightly more reps, supersetting's very good, getting good pump on the biceps is good, and triceps. So that seems to be sort of like working. But I think what's important is when something's working, stick with it. If it's not working, you need to change. And I think that's important. Some people don't listen to their body. And I felt like my arms weren't really responding very well, so I decided that I was going to put higher reps in, and then finish my workout with slightly heavier, and that seems to be working. And also supersetting on the arms seems to be very, very good as well. So supersets and joint sets work very, very well. Last night I did legs. I did 10 sets, but I did like 10 supersets. So I did like leg press, then straight onto vertical leg press. So 10 reps on the leg press, 10 reps on the vertical leg press. That's 20 reps per set. I did that for 10 sets. And then I'll go in on the next workout, and I might just concentrate on going heavy hack squats, heavy squats, and then sometimes I'll do things like leg extensions for high reps and really get a good pump, and they sort of like the legs get blown up, and that's quite nice as well. So all these types of techniques work, but I would say on average, if you're bodybuilding, it needs to be the 10 rep sort of range. Not too long between sets, just enough for your partner to go in and do their thing, and then obviously then you go straight in. That's normally average, and then obviously you can play around that, with supersets, and you can try different rep ranges and see which one you think you're responding best from. I think that's important. And maybe switch it about a little bit. Sometimes the exercises that I start with I finish, and sometimes the exercise I finish with I start with, so break it up a little bit. I think after a period of time the body is very, very good. It starts adjusting, starts acclimatizing to what you're doing, so I think it's good to have a little change. But yeah, rep range, I'd say definitely for bodybuilding anything from 8 to 12, and then there will be sets of which I'll do more. Like I said, if I'm supersetting, I sort of tend to do like 20 reps, 10 and 10, and then you can do drop sets where you go 10 10 10 10 like that. But yeah, I think basic compound movements are the basics, and I think you work around that. And if you're slightly injured, you might have to do more reps and not quite do so much weight, so it also depends on that. But certainly don't take too long between sets, certainly not if you're bodybuilding anyway. You want to sort of like get on with it, but not too fast, where you sort of like banging it out in 2 minutes, but at the same time, not where you're on your phone 5, 6, 7 minutes between sets either. So rep range, and also the time between sets, very, very important. I think if you're dieting, personally, I still think you should be training pretty much how you were in the off season, trying to keep them weights up so you finish the end of the diet pretty much how you started, which is how I am now. And then obviously it's only when you get very, very close, say you're doing a show when your body fat's very low, you can sort of like resort to reps a bit, because there's no point taking the risk of going seriously heavy and getting an injury just before the show. So that's pretty much it for today on rep range. But remember to subscribe to this channel, because there'll be loads more coming. I'm talking about all sorts. If you want me to talk about anything, then give us a message, and we'll get on it and we'll talk about it. And if you do want to try any of the SNC supplements, go on the website uksnc.co.uk, and the SNC supplements are on there, and we'll speak to you soon.